Hello, welcome to a deck tech video, which I'm now branching out into. I've covered my own decks quite a few times, but people have DM'd me a whole lot of times and asked me about like budget versions. I was drawing something up some other day and I thought, oh, the hell, let's share it, let's make a video, give people something to talk about. So this is the list. You can see it all there. I'm going to obviously give you a link. Maybe it's a little bit bigger because then I can talk about that. That looks better. Right. This is really budgety. So the thing here basically would bring it down to £50 or less, which is what Fab considers a budget deck. I'm aware £50, which is $65, is not all that budget, but it's kind of the best you're going to get in Flesh and Blood. Bearing in mind my standard deck I play comes in just short of £1,000. Like, this is not a cheap game. This is a game that really needs its values knocking down, in my opinion, but that is a different discussion. Right. So, to cover the simple things, nearly all of the starting equipment is Blade Beckoner because it's cheap and it is by far the best of the cheap equipment. All of it does the same. It blocks for 1, it blocks for 2 if you block a weapon, and you can split that block up as long as you block non-weapon then weapon. So, pretty good into things like ninjas, especially, where you can use them to get 4 blocks on their attacks combined with a card, and then on the second block you can use them to just absorb daggers and break up their chains that they're trying to get for their hat to draw a free card. So actually pretty good gear all in all, and in the cheap slots there's really nothing better. So 3 of those, Plume because Plume is good, and then Surgeon because it's that or Waning Moon. Now, there are only 2 choices, and Waning Moon does not suit the budget build as much. I also like Surgeon more, if I'm being honest, so I'd rather build for it. With those covered, this is the rest of the deck. Let me just get this lined up nicely. Good enough. So it's still got some decompose and some big hits because it's got cadaverous tillings left in there. It's running fruits and you can throw them for 7 if you want to. These are obviously mostly in there for life gain. The deck is absolutely leaning towards combo play because that is by far the better method when you're playing on a budget. So to those ends we have 3 healing potions and 3 rampant growths, which make up most of the money physically spent on the deck. It's got 3 heartbeats because they're good, and because I had money left in the £50 budget, you could cut these for some other random blue, and it's not going to matter all that much, but they're good. So, I would say they're an early thing to invest in. Similar comp with the Ring of Roses, you could drop that for a blue 3, and it's not going to matter that much. But this was built, as I say, with a £50 price tag in mind. So what it's got in the main is a whole load of D-reacts to help you block, and the combo pieces. So the healing potions, obviously. I decided to invest a very small amount of money, because these are very cheap, in Knick-Knack Vickerbacks. Partly because they're funny, partly because they're not too bad, especially when you're leaning on the combo, because they just get you your combo faster. You can basically just sort of arsenal one when you see it and then use it to quickly grab another healing potion out. Also can be quite handy if you've had to tuck all your weapons early. So if you see them on turn 1 and put them all at the bottom, this is a shuffle. And that's actually quite helpful sometimes, because if you don't want to be stuck with them all on the bottom of your deck having to dig for a second cycle into a fast deck. So as I say, this is not optimum high-end tech, although honestly Knick-Knack has turned up in a couple of high-end games, much to my delight. But it's mostly just about that fact of, it kind of it delivers combo faster. There is an what do they call them? It's an amulet of basically another healing potion that's unique, so you can get 4, but they are £10. You know, if you're not going to bother buying the Heartbeats and the Ring of Roses, you could maybe buy one of them instead. But you know, like I tried to get like the most bang for the buck and the most set up towards a real deck later, because I wanted this to be able to onboard people as well as be fairly playable. So you've probably seen by now, it's running blue Ether Flare and blue Snapback. So the Ether Flare Snapback combo is basically the Ether Flare gives a damage boost to your next card played this turn equal to the damage it deals. So you hit a reasonably sized Rampant Growth Life combo, you go into Surgeon, you know, let's hope you get, let's say, 12 damage off it or something. I'm just going to pick a number, but you know, 12 would be great. That 12 means that this does 15. This 15 means that one of these then does at least 16. And the blue's very similar, you know, you only get one value from it, but because of the big amp, you get an amount. You will absolutely die if they've got arcane compliance, but such is life on a budget. As I say, there's a couple of big hits to kind of speed things up. So, you know, if you land an 8-point Cadaverous Tilling, puts you in an alright place, because that's 8 life you don't have to take off them anymore. The Decompose also helps a bit, because it means you can start using Verdance to chip, and you've got 6 Fruits of the Forest, 3 Sigils, the life part of Rampant Growth Life and Pulsing Ether, and you've got your Heartbeats and even your Healing Potions. Titanium Bauble is really, it could be anything. You know, pick a blue 3-block wizard card of your choice, it's not going to matter. The reason I put the baubles in was to remind myself while talking about the fact that they are baubles. And what I'll kind of move on to is, if we just go to the bottom quickly, these maybe cards down here are the best upgrades initially, in my opinion. So Bark Skin's about £35, maybe a little less, sometimes seen for about 30. It's your best chest. It also works well with the Decompose that I put in the deck. Storm Striders is probably your best purchase, but it's about £60, so I didn't want to rush people into that. Your Emeritus Scaldings are great, but only once you own Storm Striders. So the second you own Storm Striders, invest £1, like, you know, $1.50 or something on a playset of Scaldings, and then you can cut your baubles for them. And that's basically because they do damage. They only do real damage at instant speed, so you use them as like a bit of a Storm Striders finish. And equally, with the second you've got any money spare, Everbloom Life is really good because it's an Earth card, which means it helps with Decompose, and it's also a 3-block. It also has text, but honestly, it's blue, it's a 3-block, it's Earth, that's why you want them. These, once they're in, have propelled you a long way towards most of your purchases, and then you only have the stuff that I'm going to describe as expensive as hell. You've got things like your Felling the Crowns. You know, Felling is an incredible purchase for this deck. It allows you to move more to the actual, I'm going to do physical damage stuff, and you can drop all the flare stuff out at that point. But I think they're hovering around £65 each at the moment. So absolutely not beginner friendly. And I think that's very important. So, yeah, I kind of wanted to draw your attention to this stuff at the bottom. The inventory is not very interesting. It's some Arcane Barrier cards. You can drop a whole chunk of it once you've got the boots, because they have AB2 on them. So it opens up a lot of options. You no longer need the hood. You no longer need the boots. Scar for a Scar, because you want it into Illusionist and Necromancer. Fate for Scene, because you can board in more D-React if you need to. Summer's Fall, because it's good into Illusionist. Calming Breeze, because it's good into Ninja and Assassin. More Ninja than Assassin, but, you know, don't sleep on it into some Assassin matchups. I think I'd still prefer keeping it just for Ninja. But just to be clear on what this deck's trying to do, if you get a chance to swing with like red fruits and red cadaverous, you do. If you have a really bad hand, you maybe go for a blue cadaverous because it still does 6 and decomposes. But you're trying not to play your blues out really. You are just trying to get healing potions into play, and once your healing potions are into play, you pop them all. You can go rampant growth, pop your hat, second rampant growth, and then you've got lethal off all manner of stuff basically. 3 potions into double rampant is an amp for 18 as an absolute minimum, and that will pretty much 100% kill someone in most circumstances. You'll get the idea of playing the deck. I might even record a video of me playing it just to sort of give people a demo. But I thought it'd be nice to make people a cheap deck. This is something you could absolutely play at your locals and actually win games, because like the biggest criticism of budget decks is often, they're budget, but you just lose. This'll not do the best into really tuned aggro, so mostly into Syndra. I would say it would struggle, but it actually holds its own okay. It can beat Syndra. A little bit of luck needed, but it can beat her. And it will beat basically every Guardian. It'll beat it'll beat Assassins fairly reliably. You can take this toe-to-toe with proper expensive winning decks and it will perform way above the rate it should do for the fact that there's only £50 of cards in it. Because, Flesh and Blood is expensive and the power cards are powerful. So, being able to get a deck down to this cost and, take it to an armory and win, I think is pretty good, all in all. I don't think there's anything else to really cover in here. If anyone has questions about this deck, drop me a message. But I just thought something sort of how to do this on the cheap would be quite nice for people. Because everything I talk about normally is with the idea of spending £1,000, or what is that, like $1,200 ish. It's a lot of money. Hope this is of use to people. I will see you in the next video.